Hi, welcome back. G-Man, My World 67. Hey, what you're looking at here is a cobbled up piece that I'm putting together. First of all, it's this southern shell. This is the southern streak. And I think I had mentioned it in the last video when I did that 1666 southern engine. I was possibly going to do a southern tender for it. And this is the tender that I'm going to use. However, all I had was the shell, and it was damaged and had a broken step on it, and I repaired the step. A couple other little minor problems. I had to make some alterations in it. I had to alter this hole, make it a little bit larger, a little bit lower, and of course these actually set into snap ends in the back, so I had to drill a hole and put a screw in so that I could assemble it. This chassis was actually I believe an old tank car, plastic tank car chassis. I don't think it was K-line or actually a Lionel chassis. It's similar, very similar. The trucks are very similar. It might have been industrial rail or something, but whatever it was junk, and I got it in a box of junk a long time ago, and it was just not workable, but I was using it for parts. And I had robbed a truck off of it, and so here we go. What I've done with this is, as it was too long, I cut it down to fit inside the tender shell, and I added this block of wood because when I cut it down and I had to put it back together, of course I glued it, and then I put some glue, hot glue on it, and hot glued it together, and then I put this piece of wood in, and I hot glued the wood to the plastic chassis, which also gives the tender quite a bit more weight, and that works out great. I'm going to reassemble this just for a second. I had started getting it ready to paint, and I'm going to repaint it because it's the wrong color for my engine. Okay, now let me move this out of the way. Got me a little snack here today. All right. Now I'm going to show you what I've done and what I'm going to do. As I said, I hot glued this together and glued it with contact cement, solid. It's got a nice weight to it. I had to drill a hole in this end, and this end has this little point on it. So the point goes down into the shell first. Put it in. That allows us to line up with the screw in the back. Tighten that screw up, and it's a done deal. Okay. Also in this shell, I wanted to show you, if you can see it, I added a piece of plastic in there to make a stop for this chassis when it comes down it stops right there, and it won't drop down any further, and that keeps it level with this stop, which was already in existence, made into the plastic shell back here. And there's a piece of also like a dowel, plastic dowel that came into the shell, that's made into the shell, and it's right here. And it just happened on that back side that with this 1/2 inch wood block, it just fits in there perfectly. So it's really working out nice. Okay, now what I've done was I had another boxcar, because I looked and I looked and I could not find a tender that I could junk out or one that was already junked out, so I could use that front truck off of that tender. But I did find a boxcar that I didn't mind going ahead and scrapping. And so I took this wheel set, this truck, off of that, and I was going to place this truck on there. But I'm going to change it again. I've got a tender coming in, and I'm going to change it and put a regular tender front on it, but I wanted to use this for an example just for now. Okay, beans. Now we have this wooden block on here. All we have to do is line this hole up and take a wood screw. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Take this wood screw and you put it in bottom side. And it'll just fit in there perfectly. And it'll be loose. Center it. Take your old trusty screwdriver. Screw it down. I just happen to have that handy. I usually use my Dremel or hand screw it. That's just a little faster. You don't want it down too tight, but you want it tight enough where you don't have a lot of swivel, back and forth swivel. Now I'm going to tighten it up a little more by hand. So I didn't want to tighten it up too much with the drill. And you want it to where it is. And it will get looser as time goes on, as it wears, depending on how much you run the car. Back it up just a little bit. Yeah, that's great. Not as loose as this one, but this one's been around for a while. Seen a few turns. And you don't have to worry about that screw backing back out because it's a wood screw. In this case, that's actually a sheetrock screw. Yeah, and you don't want to use anything over a 1/2 inch. Of course you can, because you've got nothing on the inside that it's going to hurt. But it's better to stay with a 1/2 inch screw. Okay. Put your trucks back on. your wheels back on. I like these plastic wheels because the plastic wheel sets because the wheels go in a lot easier. These are bearing tip, just like the Lionel if they're not Lionel. And there's nowhere on this marking or on the truck that had said Lionel on it. Okay. So I really don't know what it was, but it's almost just identical to one another. And there it goes. Put the shell on, and you've got a tender. Now, one other thing, real quickly. Will the 1666 or any other engine mount up to this type of coupler instead of a regular tender coupler? Now, I'm going to get this up to the right height on this back side. And the answer to the question is yes. It sits right down into that knuckle coupler. And you don't have to worry about it coming out because it won't come out. It won't slip to the side and pull forward. Any of those things will not happen. It would take a tremendous load of pressure to really make it do that. And they'll stay hooked. Now, the nice thing that I liked about using this particular coupler in this situation is this is actually a diesel tender. And so it's carrying fuel and not coal. And so there may be times when a diesel engine may pull one of those. And that's perfect setup for your diesel engines. Hook right up to it, no problem. And then hook up with all your Lionel cars, your Williams cars, industrial rail, Mike's Train House, just about anybody you want it to hook up to. Okay? All right. I'm going to take it. I've already started covering the southern streak. I'm probably going to sand this a little bit and paint over this white lines and come back with a southern insignia. And of course, like I said, it's going to be painted the same color as the 1666 and in gold lettering instead of white. Well, that's all I have for you for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. That's gman1924@hotmail.com. And as always, happy rails to you. Bye for now.